welcome to Broken Bushcraft. Today we're going to talk about how to repair and how to insert grommets into your gear. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Welcome back. Grommets, what are they? Simply, they're these little metal circles that will reinforce an area for you to tie out in. Or if you, in case of gear, you can secure things to it, hang it on your belt, etc. Well, I have this really nice tarp that I don't really use a lot because there's only 4 grommets, one in each corner. So there's nothing in the middle here, which makes tying it out kind of a pain in the butt. So what I want to do is I want to insert several grommets along the sides here. Now, if you do buy one of those blue tarps from Walmart or Costco or wherever, they're going to typically come in with, if it's with 4 grommets per side. So you have plenty of them. Plenty of these grommets in here. The problem with these grommets is they're not really reinforced. So you have these folded edges, and all it is glued down or sewn down, and it's put in there. This is one of the grommets I've done where I've reinforced it so this will hold just a little bit better and last you a little bit longer. So let's do this. Before you do anything with grommets, you want to figure out what size you need. I'm going with 1/2 inch, that's what most of mine are. So I got this kit for 1/2 inch to 3/8. You don't need to buy a kit. However, this just makes things a lot easier, especially if you're going to replace them over time. You can just buy them in a pack, in whatever size you want, and that you can work with that. So, but in a kit, some things you're going to get is you're going to get your wood backer block, and this is just going to help you punch it down through. You're going to get punches or cutouts for the right sizes, because you want to make sure when you're taking it out, you want to take out only about the center of the grommet. You're going to get your anvil for both sides, and this is the part that's on the bottom that you're going to hit onto. Your universal adapter and your 2 adapter heads that fit your grommets. And then you're going to need a hammer. Now let's measure our tarp and figure out exactly where we want to put our grommets. Now, this isn't that expensive tarp that only has 4 rivets, which pisses me off because it's like a $60 tarp. I have $7 tarps over there with 8 rivets in it, enough to go all the way around. So what we have to do first is you have to get your length and your width and figure out where you want your rivets. So the length of this is 83, so I'm just going to divide that by 3. Now, math for Marines here, that's at about 27, and then 40, 54. 27, 54. We're going to go with that. Once you've marked both sides, then you're going to mark the center from left to right. Now this has a center fold in it, so I'm just going to simply do one right there on both sides. That should get me about even halfway through. Now we've got our measurements. Now we got to put our rivets in. Before I start cutting holes out for the grommets, I'm going to want to make sure I reinforce it. You see this grommet here is reinforced. This is a canvas type material. On a lot of tarps you'll see the grommet pull out, and then once it pulls out there's just a hole there with fabric. So if I put my grommet in here and it rips, then it's going to start tearing this shelter. Now if I need it for rain or for wind or for sun or whatever, now it's useless to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Gorilla tape, duct tape, or if you're from Connecticut and you have a hookup, you get EB green. If you know, you know. And I'm going to put this on both sides of where I made my marks to help reinforce and make sure it doesn't rip out. I'm going to do that all the way around, and then we'll start cutting holes out. Before I start, let's make sure I got everything. I have my cutter here, which is going to cut my hole out. This should be my 1/2 inch hole, so it's about the same size as the hole for your grommet. I want to make sure you double check that. I got my grommets, my male and my female end, my anvil, and this is a 2-side anvil, so this is the 3/8 and this is the 1/2 inch. You just want to make sure that your 1/2 inch fits in there. Make sure you have the right one on it. I want to make sure I have my universal attachment and then my head for the 1/2 inch. Make sure you double check that fits in there right. You don't have the wrong head on there. I have my reinforced area. I'm going to put my backing block behind it. And I'm gonna set my cutter, cutting side down, onto there. Then you're just gonna take your hammer and knock it through. It's probably pretty loud. And there you go. You have your 1/2-inch hole. Make sure your grommet just barely fits through there. It should just be a tight fit in there. So it should just look just like that. Take out your backing block, put in your grommet and to your anvil, and set it through there. Take the female end, the flat end, and you're gonna set it right over top. Now, the way this grommet's gonna work is this part that's sticking up right here is gonna fold over onto this. Center it up on there. Watch your fingers, by the way. Now I have a grommet on my tarp. Now I can just continue this all the way around. Now, if you don't have a cutter, what you can do is take your grommet, put a mark on your tape or whatever else, take your knife, and just work your way through it. Get your grommet through there. You can trim off these edges just by running your knife along and then up. And that should give you a pretty close fit to your grommet size. And there you go. Fits pretty well. Take your anvil and go to work. There you have it. I went from having 4 tie-outs on this expensive tarp to having 10 tie-outs on this tarp now, making this tarp more versatile and easier to use in different situations. Really easy to do, real good skill to know. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the woods. I promise not to take such a long vacation.